Streaming over the last few years has really taken off, with more and more joining each and every day. Some of you may have been doing this for a while now, some might be just starting, but I want to give you an honest understanding of what it means to be a streamer, and in this video we're going to cover just that. Streaming has been one of the most eye-opening aspects of my life so far. Ever since I've started, I've learned so much about myself and really starting to just get a grasp of who I want to be as a person. But what most educators don't want to tell you and don't want you to know is that streaming isn't for everyone. And that's actually alright. With the competition now on the platform, you need to be brutally honest with yourself and realise, is it something you're actually going to be able to do for prolonged periods of time? Are you going to entertain so many people every single day for hours on end and turn up consistently? Are you actually able to do that? Most aren't. This video is not targeted at people who are treating streaming as a hobby, purely as a hobby, because you should just do whatever you want and enjoy it and have a great time with it, because that's important. This is targeted at the people who actually want to take their business and their career within content creation seriously. There's a recent video that's been going around in a Reddit post that came up talking about the success of streamers and the percentage chance of you reaching that. And it said there was 0.007% of all streamers are partners, and Devin Nash goes into a little bit more to understand that they aren't actually that very active. There's not many partners that are active, so that number would be even lower than this. Now again, this isn't for me to say, you know, don't stream, you're never going to be a partner, you're not going to be successful. But I want you to understand the fundamentals of streaming before you get into it or before you really start pushing to become a full-time streamer. Streaming is a lot more difficult than people think. If you have not streamed before and you're watching this, you're probably just thinking, you know, oh, you just push a go live button, you play some games, you get some money. It really doesn't work like that. And it's until you start doing it that you don't realize this, about how much really goes into making every single little detail actually work within your system. Just like anything else, when it comes to something you're studying at school, at college, at university, when you're doing your job, you need to study, you need to develop, you need to work on your craft, you need to become better at it, you need to memorize things, you need to make friendships, you need to network well, you need to produce better content every day, just like you have to do with your work in order to achieve where you want to go. And it's just like everything else. You are not going to get it overnight, and success doesn't happen right away. But if you're willing to push yourself to be better every single day and turn up every single day for a long period of time, you have a little bit of an edge. The issue is that so many don't understand this, that when they get into content creation and streaming, they then start to blame so many different external factors that stops them from getting to where they want to be. And if they don't get there in the time frame that they believed they were going to get there, they quit. The real question is, are you willing to work hard for a long time without getting anything in return to achieve all that you've ever wanted? Everyone has the ability to be successful. Just as Jeff Bezos states, all overnight success takes 10 years. Nobody will become successful overnight. But with this fast-moving world we live in, it seems there is a new success story every other day. So how do we know then if this long game of streaming is right for us? There are so many platforms that you can be successful on, but we always have that fixated mindset of when we start streaming, we want to become a successful streamer. And I had this exact mindset. I only thought I could be a streamer when I'd first started, because I mean, that was the first platform I'd ever created content on. That was the first platform I ever used. So I thought and put my whole mindset to, I want to be a streamer. The problem with this is I couldn't turn up the same way other people could. I couldn't stream for long periods of time. I had to cancel some streams due to other factors. There were just some things that were not in my control that didn't allow me to stream for the time that I wanted to stream for. At this period of my life as well, I didn't really understand business whatsoever. I hadn't done research. I just sort of streamed and hoped for the best. And that's where many make the mistakes. What you have to do is find the platform that resonates with you the most. Where can you provide the most value? Are you a competitive gamer? Then maybe streaming is the best place for you, because you're able to show off that content and put it everywhere else. But what if you're someone who enjoys to do talk shows? What if you're someone who enjoys to do a lot of just chatting? What if you're someone who likes to do more adventure and travel stuff? Then maybe Twitch isn't for you. And maybe you being honest with yourself is going to help you out more than you could ever know. Maybe your success doesn't lie on Twitch just yet, but somewhere else that you can actually build up a following that can find you easier and consume your content better. Why is it these work better? Streaming is a live streaming platform, meaning that people are consuming the content right there and then. They can't have it evergreen as VODs go away after 30 days. You can only interact with them properly when they are live, and often it only happens for a small segment out of the day. That means if you're creating extreme amounts of value within your stream, there's only going to be a very finite amount of people who will actually be able to consume that content. Whereas if you were to put this on YouTube, then your content is there forever. You've had the recommended videos before on YouTube that were made 8, 9, 10 years ago. Do you not think that you could continue to grow your brand 8, 9, and 10 years through one YouTube video alone? That's impossible with any live streaming platform. There are some personalities that tend to work better on stream, and it's not a bad thing, it's just understanding it a little bit more. What most use streaming for is a sort of escape from reality. We all do that, we all use the internet for that. It's to escape the real world and what happens. So when we find someone we can idolize and look up to, that allows us to sort of resonate with that creator more and want us to keep coming back. This is why people with the strong backstories, the commitment and desire to succeed, the strength and power to make a massive change in their life, or someone who's just willing to listen to others can be a massive milestone in that. The downfall of so many is that they just do the same as everyone else. They hit the go live button after they've done all the work prior and then talk to their stream and they play games as they do so. I understand that I said not to fall into the misconception that some streamers just hit the live button and play the game and that's it, but some actually do this and then complain that they're not succeeding. There's over 5.8 million broadcasters each month on Twitch. How are you going to stand out from that many people when all you're doing is playing the game and talking to your chat? You're now in a generation of live streaming that you need to come up with ways in order to be a standout, someone who people need to go and watch, offer value that someone can't miss out on and have to turn up to your stream to get. And you're the only place that does that. It's not to say maybe taking inspiration from other people is a bad thing, but you have to use your own personality to your advantage because that's the only thing nobody can copy. Nobody can do something as well as you can when you are showing your full personality. And if you're able to do this and also provide value for that, you're going to be a standout because there's so many people who just want to copy everyone else and so many people who just do what everyone else is doing to be liked by other people. This is why you formulating your own opinion, your own acts, the way you go about things, the way you create content individually is going to make you stand out, even if you're copying and taking inspiration from others who are just doing the same as everyone else. If you add that little twist to it, that stands out 10 times more than anyone else does. Another issue with streaming is that there's so much competition with very little help. This is such a weird mindset to get into, but if you're starting streaming or you are now streaming, you have to understand that your growth doesn't come from your streams. I'm gonna let that one sink in a little bit. Now I know how stupid that sounds, and to me when I first heard it, I was thinking, why the hell am I doing this then? Why am I streaming if my growth comes out of streaming? And it was a mindset that took me far too long to realise and far too long to get out of. So I want you to get this in your head right now and keep it there. Your growth is going to come from outside your stream. This will be from content you make on social media, on YouTube, making a podcast, making a website. This is where your growth is going to come from, but you still need to do it in the right way to bring people over to your stream. You could create amazing content on YouTube and not have any of your links in your description and no one has a clue that you stream. And this is where we lead to you having to learn so much in order to just get a very small amount for a long time. And why so many quit? Because nobody wants to put in the work anymore. Everyone sees these success stories every other day and thinks this is going to come for me, and are not willing to put in the work that's going to take them prolonged periods of time but would pay off exponentially in the future if they could just understand that. So if you're someone sitting here thinking, I'm going to stream for longer hours to grow more, you are wrong. It will not happen, especially if you're just starting out. Yes, for someone who has 300 plus viewers, they're ranking near enough at the top on the games that they play. Those viewers are going to come in consistently. Those new followers are going to come in consistently. And the more they stream and the more content they put out elsewhere, the more it's just going to work for them and bring that snowball effect into full effect. But you're not that person. You are not there yet. You don't have the ability to do that. and why you have to start thinking about creating evergreen content and valuable content out with of streaming in order to start growing that. And if you're not willing to accept that, success on streaming is going to be very unlikely. There's 3 questions I want you to ask yourself. Can you provide consistent and valuable entertainment like no one else can? What reason should someone watch you compared to anyone else out there doing the exact same thing that you're doing? And finally, can you stay consistent and change your content based on the ever-changing criteria that happens within streaming and the social media world? Are you able to keep up with that? From those questions, maybe you're not going to be able to make an entertaining, valuable piece of content for 4 hours at a time, but you can keep the attention of someone for a 10-minute long video on YouTube. In the long run, YouTube is always going to be your best bet since you're not able to do that. And if you're willing to put the time in to learn about editing, thumbnail designs, captioning, and really how to make an engaging 10-minute video, that could pay off for you like no stream for 4 years ever could. Recently, I had to make quite a hard decision for myself, and that was to decide whether or not I wanted to do streaming or completely move away from it. Because I believe the value that I offer is so much better out with of streaming, because it can be consumed by so many more people out with of what I actually do. I have now moved back to 2 streams a week because I just enjoy creating content elsewhere more. It's not to say I don't love streaming and have streamed for the past 2 years, but it's just to say that I know I can grow my stream further outside of streaming itself, and I know I can provide so much more value and reach a wider audience outside of streaming with the content that I create. Hence why I made that decision to lower my stream days. I don't want you to come away from this video being discouraged to stream. This was never my intention. However, I want you to start being honest with yourself and not being afraid to quit when you know it's the right time. Quitting doesn't mean failing. It means you're mature enough to understand when something isn't worth your while and move from there. So the decision you now have to make is streaming right for you? Is streaming the right platform for you? Is live streaming the thing you will do in the long run? Is streaming somewhere where you can offer the most value? Maybe it is. And maybe that's somewhere you should continue to travel along and improve upon each day to get to where you want to be. And maybe you watch this video and it isn't. And that's perfectly fine, because we have to fail at things in life, and we have to have so many downfalls in order to get to where we want to be at. I have done this every single day and continue to fail every single day at what I do. Maybe this video will be absolutely terrible. I hope not. But maybe it'll be great. Everything in life that we do should have meaning and purpose. Everything we try should be to better ourselves and better our knowledge as a person and just grow to be a better you. And everything we fail at will be the biggest and best lessons we've ever had in our lives. Try streaming, give it a go. See if it's something you enjoy to do, but be honest with yourself and realize it isn't for everyone. That's okay. I fully believe everyone can be successful in anything that they ever want to do. But most of the time, we are not willing to put the time in to actually get to where we want to get at. And this is why you need to find something that you enjoy so much that you're willing to do, even when times get tough. Streaming might not be that thing for you, but YouTube might. Just gotta give it a go. I didn't want to scare you with this whole video and say that you should never try streaming. Streaming's terrible. How dare you even give it a go? But I just want to be honest with you. Streaming isn't for everyone, and if you want to be a full-time streamer, you need to understand the actual meaning behind full-time streaming and what you have to do in order to actually succeed in that. There's so much more to it, but I hope this laid out a lot for you, and I hope you can start to be more honest with yourself. I would love to have a discussion down in the comments if you're interested in talking a little bit further. And if you do actually want to come and stop by the stream where we talk about these sorts of things, I stream on Thursdays and Sundays at 3 PM BST on Thursdays and 1 PM BST on Sundays. I would love to have a conversation with you. If you would also like to join the family, I do have a Discord. We now have over 450 members, I believe, of entrepreneurs, streamers, content creators looking to better themselves and looking to push themselves forward. There's some exclusives for all of you in there if you do want to join, and I would love for you to be a part of that family. I want to give a massive thank you to all the patrons who support me and continue to support me on doing everything that I do. It means the world to me, and I hope I'm providing as much value as I possibly can. Have a fantastic day.